Welcome to the mysterious world of swamps, the lungs of our ecosystem. Here, water weaves through trees, creating a unique and vibrant habitat. Join us as we build a stunning swamp environment in Planet Zoo.
Welcome back to a new video. Before we begin, I just wanted to thank you for the incredible support. We grew to 250 subscribers in less than 2 months of starting. Thank you. Now, let's get right into it. We start, as usual, by outlining a square for our chunk to be created. The chunk functions as a way to duplicate our environment and make it as big or small as we want. But this time, we make the chunk a little bit bigger. Not just that, but we also modify the terrain slightly. First, toggle lock terrain, and then lower the terrain within your border ever so slightly. Not too much, just a quick click. You can test whether it worked by filling it with water. Now, lower the entire chunk a little bit more and fill it with water. This is your swamp base. You can mark off the edges by creating a new line within the outline if you want. Now is the time to be creative. I Googled a list of trees that would thrive in swamps and matched them up with the nature catalog of Planet Zoo. I've added the list of all the assets that I've used in the description. As always, we start by going from large to small. First the trees, then the bushes. Where we would normally place grass, we now stop and add a new step. I've made a bundle of roots from the Strangler Fig. This patch works perfectly to cover the bottom of the water and adds realism and texture to the swamp. Already, it looks a lot more vibrant. Next, we cover the entire bottom of the water with Hydrilla plants. It looks amazing in combination with the roots. After, you can further add details with the rest of the water plants. You can play with the height. Maybe the tops can stick out of the water. You decide how much you want to change it up. Lastly, I added some fallen trees for the perfect swamp look. And then our chunk is complete. Delete the edges, select all the assets, and combine them into one group. Next, we decide where and how big our swamp should be. I'm drawing a square on the area with some dirt, and then similar to the chunk, lower the ground a bit. Test the depth with the water, and then lower the entire area. For some additional terrain realism, if you hold the flattened terrain on the level you want the terrain to lower to, but move around real quick, you can create some variation in the depth. So then when you eventually fill the area with water, some islands appear. Now it's time to duplicate your chunk. Do this in steps. First a square of 4 by 2. Rotate the chunks so you can avoid any repetition. Then group all your chunks into a new, bigger chunk. Be careful, you can only duplicate or move up to 5,000 items at once. So make sure your large chunk is not more than that. And then fill your swamp with the bigger chunks. Once everything has come together, ungroup everything. Select some trees in the middle and delete them to create clearings. Lastly, I like how the swamp naturally flows into a river or lake, so I trimmed the edges for a more realistic look. And there you have it, an amazing and realistic looking swamp. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.